Hello, dear friends. Welcome to my 2023 Liberian General Election swag. SWAG. Liberia 2023 election swag. So the title in Pele, I will start with the title in Pele, Liberia, the Liberian dialect called Pele. And it says, Iglu bo iga aikpun. Repeat, Iglu bo iga aikpun. And that Pele, the meaning in English is, you meant to do it to yourself. Again, you meant to do it to yourself. So by saying that, I just want to caution every Liberian for the runner-up at the election coming up. I understand why the children up and down the street, jumping up and down the street, because they don't know what's going on with themselves. And the people who's supposed to be telling them what has gone wrong with them and how they will find the means to help them, no. Their goal for the children that are in the ghetto and in the streets that you call Zogo is to keep them and use them to perpetrate them into power. Because the young generation, they are carried away with materialistic things. They are living in a materialistic world. That parent never had an opportunity for them to education, to civilization in their own country. All they knew was war. And when the war came, it was easy for rebel leaders to recruit these very young kids from 7, 8 years old and drug them so that they will use them for that war machinery during the 14 years long Liberian civil crisis. That's what they used the children for. And I guess none of them had no idea how to recover those children after they achieve their evil desires. So, like you see, every group that came in, they used the same group for their own personal aggrandizement. Simple word is personal interest, personal greed, to perpetrate themselves into power and use their power over the devastated children. Youth will be future leaders. During the war, those children became wayward kids. They were their own parent, their own mother, their everything for themselves. All they knew was to hold an AK-47 rifle as their own artificial power. Because anyone who points a gun at you, I don't care how big you are, how rich you are subdued instantaneously. So those children just knew how to use guns. They took people's property by force. They killed people for the property. They framed people during the war to kill them. If somebody saw somebody with something they wanted, they will go and lie to the CEO, say, we'll find one enemy forces. And the CEO said, you already fought a drug and stupid. You say, oh, go zero the person. When in the war, when they say zero the person, may kill them. Not knowing it, either that person's wife or the girlfriend or maybe the CEO, commander, CEO mean commander, right? Yeah, commanding officer. So that what it means as CEO, commanding officer. One, this guy got his beautiful wife. The only way to get our wife He decided to eliminate the guy and subdue the woman as his wife during the war. This is what happened during the war. And those children came from the war front with a war-like mentality. War-like mentality. And they got screwed up. But heartless, ill-fitted, educated people. When you say ill-fitted educated people, you know that you did not go to school to reach 12th grade or even 8th grade. But you want to do the work of a master degree holder, PhD degree holder. That's the work that you want because it carries money behind that title or that position. Whether you worth it or not, you sit in the office and get someone who educated to do the work for you while you get the pay and the title. That's what happened to Liberia after that terrible war. And it's perpetrated itself during the George Weah 6 years. Ellen Johnson did all she could to bring in qualified, educated people in her government system. During the second half of her 2 term, she came under pressure. That's how she started to replace some of these educated people and pay them off to go back to where they came from, everywhere in the world, in the States and whatever. Because the young generation never wanted anyone who would stand in the way of corruption and stealing, because that's the only hope they had, to steal and use the power they had. The power they had to take the country money by force. So what you saw during the George Weah administration, why you just think about it? Why would somebody, you say you're president for a country? For me, I'm sorry for George Weah. I don't like to talk about the people who at least have some level of education around him. Should I help him? Should I talk to him? And if he didn't listen, they should have put pressure on him, because they should supposed to think about their own family, their own life, their own livelihood. What will happen to them? What will happen to their children? That's what they should have taught on. Okay, so if you don't listen, then you resign, you go back to the States where you came from. But they rather put the country money in his hands, because as long as he as a president hand was in the cookie jar, everybody's hands in there, he was never able to punish anybody. Yeah. And to prove it, like I always said, 2 times I was in Liberia. George Weah, when he became president, he made 2 very important trips, and all his trips were in Africa. When he came back, he went to Bishop Winger Church. At the time he went, the issue of World Crown Court was on. When he came back, the journalists went and asked him, after he got to speaking to Winger Church, they asked him about the World Crown Court. And he said, and I quote, for his own word, that he said, how can he sign a World Crown Court when everybody in his government fought the war? That one ended. And the issue, Costa and everybody who have social media platform hammered the president at the time. They did all they could do. And then he made another trip again. That was in Africa, because most of the first set of trips were all in Africa. Later on, the first outside trip went to France, for my recalling, for what I recorded. The second time he came, before he left, the issue, a lot of people, the social media politicians on the other side of the counter was all talking about the issue of corruption, how this rampant, he had already overnight built, I don't know how many 35 unit, 4-story buildings already. So when he came back, again to ask the Winger Church, the journalist asking about the issue of corruption, what he going to do to stop corruption in the country, and what he going to do as a president for corrupt government officials. And George Weah said again, and I quote, He said, how can I punish people for corruption in the country and everybody here that one family country? So who will he punish for corruption? And that's how he totally killed the two most important issues, war crime court and corruption. And now his testimonial for his 6 years, he did not go behind the counter to do anything. Everything that happened in his administration was done in the eyes of the public. Rampant misuse of the country money and lying about it. Uncompleted reports from government and lying the Freeport of Monrovia, all those lucrative areas that they call them lucrative, the Freeport of Monrovia, the Rower Field, port of entries, the two ports, seaports, those are places that money was coming from. And all kind of massive corruption took place that they deny and defended, but yet the life of the people remain the same. Hunger. People can't afford to buy anything. Ellen Johnson was paying the people $150, I think $200. They came and brought it down to $45. What's the evil group of people? How can you be that evil? You're using money. You run more expensive cars. You got huge salary. You're all over the place. Then the people later money. You're cut it down from $100, $200 to $45, and they couldn't even get it for the $5 because you people are so greedy and evil. Now today, here we are. You come back to Liberian people to tell them to make you president for what? Because it become a competition. How can you compare yourself with Ellen Johnson when in terms of academic excellence and international recognition? How can you compare yourself with a woman like that because she begin 2 terms? If you have been there for the 2 terms, you know what's going to happen? You are going to pull out of the country the first two weeks. So that's why Ellen Johnson being there, she became 2-term president because she had a charge to begin the reconstruction of Liberia, and she laid down the foundation, the government system, the monetary collection system, everything. She set that pace for a good leadership to take over the country. And that's the mistake that she made. She should have negotiated whatever fear she had and make sure that was a good, educated person who knew what they were doing to become president, saying allowing George Weah to go there. The children were running behind them because the children know what they're running behind. So you couldn't father that you can call that thing popularity that George got. It was generational devastation. That what you can't call it population. It's generational devastation, generation destruction, generational trauma. That's what happened to the children and that popularity. Because in the first place, you're running with a man who got all the football glory, and yet Lone Star can't even pass what they call Lone Star could not even win a local club. What more talking about international club? Look at youth and sports. You became world best, then youth and sports look like some garbage can. We're another group of people who are just looking for money to put in their pocket. That's all. And the children say, Father, so you think the children they could read between the lines. You think they will follow behind him? Man will work best. Look at the country. To say, look at all the other West African, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, that will always overlook. Guinea. Look at that professional. They never reach as far upon when, but they are millionaires. They are living their private lives and are businessmen. Drogba got hospitals in Ivory Coast. He did not go into government to take government money. The money he made for football, all those guys in Nigeria, Kanune, all of those guys, they are all millionaires in Nigeria for that football money. They didn't go to Nigeria government to take the government. But the people's mind are so screwed up and thin. So they are captivated and fascinated with this George Weah. It's funny. You saw him building houses on that 9th Street. When I went around, we're in Liberia, when George Weah built that house, it was the It was the #1 horse that everybody wanted to see. I was the only person that went there and was never impressed with it. Because I saw the horses of other international players' photos. And I was the big news, the white, everybody, oh, Joe, we are horse. It was big news to show the limitation of the mentality of our people. And that's why those few educated people that around George Weah used against him, his mentality. They were educated, they used him. And they benefited. And the country down. And today, George Weah is in a trap. He can't get out. And the only way to get him out is that the God had given us the opportunity. We saw how the election went. We saw the irregularities. We saw the mess that took place. We got a runner up only 2 person. You don't have headache to choose between 40 candidates. You got 2. One is Liberia nightmare. The incumbent George Weah is Liberia nightmare. Omen Boaka is an age, experienced, corruption-free old man. You know, Boaka, I one of those who are concerned about his age. But then later on, when I saw how the situation, political atmosphere in the country, I said it's better to have an age, experienced old man who have a clean record to take over our country, and we all help that he get the right people, recruit people from exile who are qualified to sit in those positions to make sure that he plan start the recovery of Liberia and the reconstruction and trying to save the country. The old man is characterized by his traditional fraternity, traditional training, where he's humble. That's why people try to destroy our culture. The culture, the Poro and the Sandy are our 2 major fraternity. And that's where they use for a traditional education. The boys go to the Poro and learn traditional education. And that's why the people say Pelepo is stupid. Pele people and Loma people, they call them stupid people because they are guided by the tradition to respect government, respect the elderly people, respect people who are high in society. And they are respectful, so people call them the stupid. But because of that tradition, the women supposed to only be the husband. That only the husband is supposed to know, so they know to respect the husband and honor the husband. The tradition teaching all of that. But civilization has interfered with that rich cultural tradition that we have in our country. But that's what old man Boaka possessed. Why he couldn't? Why is the only man in the history of Liberia that didn't allow his wife to use the government car after office hour? Boaka, the only person that got it. Apart from that, all the other government officials, they have up to 5, 6, 7 cars broken down sitting in a yard. For the time that we've been knowing them. Except for Tobatan, he was very tough. But after Tobatan, we don't gotta forget it. Every government official had 5 or 6 vehicles broken down, government broken down vehicle in a yards. But you're children, you know. But one day, y'all will come. I might be dead and gone. Y'all will come and look for my video to listen to it. Say, one man used to be talking, will never listen to him. The person who advise you, that is one who love you. The person that mislead you, they hate you. They will destroy your life. And me, God gave me the charge. He took me from the village into a civilized home. And the woman raised me like her own child. And educated me. So I will use whatever education I got. Whether I got money, I got mouth to talk, I would use it as much as I can. Even Canada, while living here. And I up there, I'm doing the lowest job you can think about here. But I still, when I'm ready, I speak. I publish a book for the Canadian child welfare system with my voice, giving my contribution to this country. So I'm doing it for Canada, I'm doing it for Liberia because that's my native land. When the children of Israel went to exile, they never forgot Jerusalem. They never said, we are okay here. But they're worrying to go back home. So, finally, I come to tell you that let all of us put our hand, those of you who love your country and that want to see your nieces and nephews out of the street, and for a good government to get started under the old man, so that we can start rebuilding our country, because we will make sure that he put the right people in offices. That what I said the last time, they have to vet. They have to get tests. It won't be minister of so and so. They don't go to the criteria. If you want to be minister of public works, what kind of degree you supposed to have? You're supposed to have an engineering degree to be minister of public works. If you are health, you minister of health, you're supposed to be a doctor, a renowned doctor, medical doctor. If you want to be minister of planning, you got to have a degree in economics, PhD. Minister of information, you must have a degree in journalism and social service, everything you think about the social academic records. You should have all the credentials to become minister of information, because it's about connecting the community together and being the voice of the government. So you got to understand what you call social service. You got to have a degree in that. If you got Minister of Agriculture, you mean you got degree and degree. Or if you don't got degree, you got education. But let's look at somebody who have been successful farmer in Liberia in the midst of all of this thing. You can take person like that and make them Minister of Agriculture. There's a young girl in Bon County that I know. When I went to Liberia, visited her farm, I got sick consistent. She's working with Carrie. So we're supposed to go to play Carrie to look for someone to be Minister of Agriculture. Because you put people who got discipline in the area in the ministry, then you expect to have an effective ministry. Minister of Finance should not have anybody less than a doctorate degree in economics and financial management. How you be Minister of Finance, you don't have degree in financial management and economic degree? There's no way. It will not work. One more talking about National Bank, people who taking your money, you got to have degree, highest degree in money management. How a banking institution should work, you should have experience in it. You've exposed. We are talking, okay, who among them that got higher degree? The one that who got a higher degree, a book, or he president, he crippled. So who wanted the former footballer that went up there in soccer that can become Minister of Youth and Sport? We got the right guy there. Zoga Wilson, we also he Liberia, one of Liberia's best goalkeepers. So he to the right place. He at the right place. I don't know his academic standard, but I know maybe from the University of Liberia, which is good. But he was a former footballer, so he know what it means to be in the Ministry of Information and what kind of program to launch to make sure that you develop the program. The program. They are all where all of them play. So what other ministry will look here? Here. Forestry. You got to have a top degree in agriculture and forestry. You got to know every tree within the forest and the importance of that tree when it comes to from medical resources to construction. What kind of valuable trees in each of the forests to be Director General for FDA? That's the kind of people looking for. So if you got somebody, you put somebody who near there and send people to school. Get them to school to go get a doctorate degree in all those areas. That's what people are supposed to do for a country like Liberia. Take the use, raise the country money. You got enough money to send everybody for every ministry. Those children who came from University of Liberia and take tests, they pass it. You make the assistant minister, and then later on send them for higher education. And that happened within the first 10 years. At the end of the day, we'll hire educated people. And at the time, for me, if I had the means to be president for our country, the first thing I'll push for to the two houses is to be a capital punishment for corruption for the first 5 years. And after 5 years, if we not kill the corruption, then we'll move that law. But we'll make an amendment for capital punishment for corruption. So that somebody see fire on the ground, you scare, you'll be yelling, you'll tell the last speaker, my poor father, I see fire on the ground, I see fire in here, where for? That's where we should take Liberian people. Liberian people don't have to deal with. By the time they know you're serious, they'll back off. But they knew everybody's stealing because they know the people in power, they are all thieves. They're greedy for everything. So, I started with Pele. If you go to election and you don't know, you don't go to the old man to put him there. Don't listen to all the political mumbo-jumbo. They're talking about the old man. I myself was talking about age. But then later on, I found that age and the interest of the country, which one? The age person is the more experienced person. Now we'll put the footballer there, we'll see what happens. So right now, the only alternative is Joseph Boakai. So if you go and mess up in the ballot, and people, you run your mouth on TV, and don't protect the ballot, and George will win, you mean it to do it to yourself. So Parliament say, you mean it to do it to yourself. Nobody calls you to do it. So I stop here to caution every Liberian to gather behind old man Boakai and vote, encourage, talk to the children in the house. If you can go, you can group yourself. There got to be a comprehensive, massive campaign. Let groups go in the various community, talk to the children. Y'all have, some of y'all got money, y'all go to the ghetto and have parties. And then give a speech and encourage them and tell them that you put not satisfied with the life they're living, they will be living better than that. All of the ghettos talk to the children and preach love to them. Because the children, as long as they get hope, they'll say, okay, whoever that president are there, allowing them to steal and do everything that the president will go for. And that's what George Weah did. They left there, acted, and didn't see them. But when they want them, that they go to the ghetto and use them. But we don't want that. We want someone who will take the children from the ghetto. Government that will pressurize and make sure. Even open get there, there will not be easy ride for him. He will not have 1 second of easy ride. All the demons in the country will bring people from around the world. We will cleanse the country. And we will pray for that country. Anybody being demon, you die. You be medicine in a ministry, you will die in your chair. You will not get it from there. Because that's what they're doing. They put the medicine in each other. They move you. You go and put medicine in that minister chair, but then you lay down there, you sit down in that chair, you'll not get it again. It that happens, we live to see all those things. So, if you go and don't vote for Oben Boakai, you mean it to do it to yourself. And you will feed it, Baba Guy. When parents say Baba Guy, then the next one they say, Apishaya, Apishaya, Apishaya mean good for you. So, I stop here. May God bless us. Share this video. It's very important for people to make the right decision for Mother Liberia. Blessing. God bless all of you people.